contract of selling our souls. They got contracts out there that say you can't say Jesus. When we was working on this album, people used to be coming over the studio just to say Jesus as loud as they wanted to. You can say Jesus in your studio.
Today, after 40-something years in the business, I'm like, well, why? Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been...
D'Angelo's passing has sent shockwaves through the entire music world. And it's not just because of who he was, it's because of how it all unfolded. When you start peeling back the layers, things get darker than anyone expected. Kanye West's been hinting at this for years. The idea that what happened to D'Angelo wasn't just about fame fading or music trends changing. It was deeper, much deeper. See, D'Angelo didn't just vanish from the spotlight for no reason. His career hit a wall. Some say it was intentional. After Voodoo dropped and changed R&B forever, he disappeared for more than a decade before Black Messiah. In that time, he battled personal struggles, extreme pressure from the public, and, according to insiders, some very suspicious industry forces that didn't want him to win. Now, Kanye has spoken before about strange rituals, public humiliation, and behind-the-scenes power moves in the music world. Things artists supposedly face if they refuse to play along. While no one's saying D'Angelo was literally sacrificed, there's talk that his career was quietly sabotaged because he wouldn't follow the system's unspoken rules. And here's where it gets even wilder. D'Angelo's ex, Angie Stone, had started speaking out about all this. She even dropped names, calling out people directly, right before she tragically passed away earlier this year in what some called a mysterious car crash. D'Angelo didn't just arrive in the mid-90s, he exploded onto the scene with Brown Sugar. That album didn't just top charts, it flipped the entire soul music game upside down. He wasn't your typical R&B crooner chasing radio trends. He was a visionary who brought that smooth 1970s soul energy into a modern world that had almost forgotten what real groove sounded like. Fans felt it instantly. The vibe, the honesty, the depth. Then came Voodoo in 2000, and that's when everything changed. The world wasn't just listening to D'Angelo anymore. They were studying him, obsessed with his artistry. He became the blueprint for neo-soul greatness.
Nation contract that says that people are not allowed to sing about Christ. Yeah. So I'll be wondering, I'll be like, yo, God, why? Why have you swung my sword?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you came in the game with Jesus Walsh.
Why? There's a part...
What made it even more powerful? He did it his own way. D'Angelo played most of the instruments himself, poured every ounce of emotion into each track, and refused to chase chart-friendly hits just because executives told him to. Every note was personal, raw, and real. But here's where it gets complicated. That very independence that made him legendary also made him a problem for the industry. The higher-ups wanted control, predictable songs, a polished image, and artists who'd play by their rules. They wanted someone easy to package, not someone who'd challenge the system. D'Angelo wasn't that guy. He was private, spiritual, deeply grounded in faith, and he wanted his music to mean something. That's when the tension started bubbling. Insiders have whispered for years about those exclusive industry gatherings hosted by big names, parties where major decisions get made behind closed doors. But D'Angelo, he wasn't trying to join that inner circle, and some say that's exactly when his problems began. Word in the industry was that powerful people wanted D'Angelo to join their exclusive circle, but he refused straight up. He didn't want to play their game or give up his beliefs just to stay on top. Even Angie Stone, in one of her last interviews, hinted at this. She said that years after their breakup, she discovered unsettling details about the kind of pressure D'Angelo was allegedly under during his peak. Things that made her question what was really happening behind closed doors. Nobody knows for sure if D'Angelo ever got pulled into that strange, elite world, or if he managed to shut it down before it consumed him. But one thing's for sure, around that time, his life started changing fast. Fans saw the surface, the weight gain, the long disappearances, the rumors about substance use, but they didn't see the pressure behind it all. This wasn't just a man battling personal demons. This was someone being crushed by a machine that didn't like when artists said no. Insiders have whispered that certain execs tried to trap him. luring him into high-profile networking events and celebrity collaborations that had more to do with control than creativity. You've heard the stories, the glamorous parties, the power players, the pressure to play along.
Of course, D'Angelo and I were very good friends, but I need for you to know that as wonderful as that friendship has been, it came with a lot of challenges. And I'll tell you the nature of the industry based on a secret that I recently found out from someone who is credible, that let me in on some things that I didn't know even up until lately. And I have to tell you, it was shocking just to find out. But in any event, I will share them with you and let you know the devil don't play fair. No, this is not Angie Stone's life story.
D'Angelo didn't want any part of that, and that made him a target. When people talk about industry sacrifices, they're not always talking about physical harm. It's about emotional and creative destruction. The system doesn't need to take you out. It can drain your spirit, ruin your reputation, and erase you from the spotlight until you break. Kanye West has been shouting about this for years, calling out the hidden punishments and rituals that keep artists in line. D'Angelo entered the game as a revolutionary, full of life, soul, and purpose. But by the time he stepped back, something had clearly changed. He didn't want to be part of that dark world anymore. And then, just when Angie Stone started speaking out and naming the people she said had deceived or betrayed her, she suddenly lost her life in that mysterious car accident. The timing left everyone shaken, wondering if it was really just coincidence or something far more chilling. In the weeks and months before her passing, Angie Stone wasn't holding back anymore. She was speaking out loud and clear about what she called the dark side of the music business. She had started calling out names, even pointing fingers at big companies like Universal Music Group, and she made it clear that she was tired of seeing talented artists, especially Black artists, being silenced, manipulated, or pushed into situations that went against their values. Then, just like that, Angie was gone. Her death came out of nowhere, only 7 months before D'Angelo's passing, and people couldn't help but connect the dots. Because when you look at D'Angelo's story, his decade-long silence, his sudden withdrawal from fame, and then look at Angie's warnings, it's hard not to see a pattern forming. The industry loves to build stars, but when those stars stop obeying orders, the system knows how to make them disappear, quietly and completely. D'Angelo was known for being deeply spiritual. He wanted his music to reflect his beliefs and his heart, not the shallow, image-driven direction the labels were pushing. But the industry had different plans for him. They wanted catchy, seductive hits, a clean-cut, marketable look, and lyrics that kept things light, not songs about faith or inner battles. That's when things started to change for him behind the scenes. Now, here's where it gets chilling. Kanye West once claimed that some artists are forced to sign contracts that restrict what they can talk about, including anything religious or spiritual. And according to some sources, D'Angelo was allegedly offered one of those same contracts, one that would have limited his message, his sound, and his soul. He refused to sign, and from that moment on, things reportedly started to fall apart. When people mention the Illuminati in the music world, they often think of mysterious symbols and secret rituals. But in truth, it's more about the power structure, the hidden network of executives, managers, and corporations that pull the strings, deciding what kind of art the world gets to hear. Those rituals everyone whispers about, they're often just the unspoken rules of control. The expectation to play along, to attend the exclusive parties, to follow the formula. If you don't, you get isolated, humiliated, or quietly blacklisted. And that's what many believe happened to D'Angelo. He came into the game with unmatched talent and pure purpose, but the system around him wasn't built for integrity. It was built for obedience. The cost of saying no was enormous. Years of silence, endless rumors, and a reputation that the industry worked hard to twist. When you put it all together, D'Angelo's retreat from fame, Angie Stone's final warnings, and Kanye's continued revelations about hidden industry pressures, it paints a chilling picture. The deeper you look, the clearer it becomes. This business isn't just about music, it's about control, and the few artists brave enough to resist often pay the highest price. At the end of the day, it's not always about literal sacrifices. It's about the symbolic ones this industry forces on those who dare to stand firm. They'll strip away your creative freedom, your peace of mind, your momentum, all because you wouldn't bend or play their game. That's the silent cost of staying true to yourself in a business built on control and image. But through it all, D'Angelo left behind a legacy that can never be erased. From Brown Sugar to Black Messiah, his music still moves souls around the world. One fan wrote on X, D'Angelo dropped Brown Sugar, disappeared for years, fought through his battles, and came back with Black Messiah. That's real artistry right there. Those words hit deep, because D'Angelo's journey proves that greatness can still rise after years of silence and struggle. His story shows that even when the system tries to silence truth, real talent always finds a way to shine again. But let's be real, his story is also a warning. In this industry, talent isn't enough. If you refuse to play along, you might lose everything. Your deals, your support, your spotlight. D'Angelo stood his ground, and he paid a heavy price for it. The music world can be ruthless, especially toward artists who fight to stay authentic and spiritual instead of selling a fantasy. So here's the question we all have to ask. Was D'Angelo's downfall just bad luck, or was it part of a bigger pattern? And with Angie Stone's passing happening just months before his own, does that really sound like a coincidence to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think about all this. Was D'Angelo targeted, or just caught in a storm bigger than himself? Hit that like button, share this with someone who still loves real soul music, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives just like this. See you on the next one.